in deep here a little bit with some philosophy, some law of attraction. How can we continue to get from where we are to where we want to be, and do a lot of some introspective work for the afternoon. Is everybody comfortable temperature-wise? Are we good? Okay. Oh, we just got our fan. I know we have some hot flash. Well, if you're not, if you are uncomfortable, and any of you all who need to turn your chairs around, if that's okay, make yourselves comfortable, make yourselves at home. So, the law of attraction. How many of you all have seen movies like The Secret, or read some of Deepak Chopra's stuff, The Power of Positive Thinking, and Eckhart Tolle now, and so you guys, how many people have kind of never heard of the law of attraction, or don't really know so much about the law of attraction?
I'm Aquarius.
What about the rest of you? You're alive?
I'm Aquarius.
How about the rest of you guys? We're just kind of sort of in between, kind of being not sort of sure. Okay. So the law of attraction states that like energy attracts like energy. We are all made up of energy particles. If you put our hand under a microscope, all we are is atoms. So we really are not, we look solid, we think we're solid, but we're not solid. So whatever energy we're putting out there is what we're going to attract back. Everything that you see in your life is a result of what energy you've put out, and the outcomes that come back to you is all about you and your energy. So when we say we want to get from where we are to where we want to be, we really have to look at our consciousness and what are we attracting into our lives, because that's 100% our responsibility as to what we attract. So we're really going to dive deep today looking at what, if we're not attracting what we want to attract, why is that, and how can we change that? So, the vibration that you hold is the vibration that will be attracted to you. Again, positive energy attracts positive energy. Negative energy attracts negative energy. You guys know, have you ever done that? You walk into a room and somebody's smiling and positive and you feel that energy, and then you walk into a room and somebody's depressed, angry, or you feel that energy too, right? So we're putting those vibes off all the time. So, we have to become very conscious about what we're thinking and the thoughts that we're putting out there. Because, again, like will attract like. So, if you're thinking about lack, if you're thinking about debt, if you're thinking about unworthy thoughts about yourself, if you're putting out that negative energy of anger, what do you think you're going to get back? Same thing. Somebody who's really happy and positive does not want to hang out with somebody who's angry and negative. You're just not going to attract that person to you, that energy to you. So again, this goes through all parts of our lives. Sometimes it's in our business, sometimes it's in our relationships, sometimes it's financial. So all of those things affect each other. So we're going to do an exercise here in a little bit where we really tear apart all the different phases of our life and where we are and what our thoughts are and how we can change some things. Wayne Dyer, change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. How many of you guys, have any of you all read any Wayne Dyer stuff? He has a great book, a great DVD series called The Power of Intention, all about the law of attraction. What you put out is what you get back. What you intend is what you get back. So some people think, okay, law of attraction is a kind of hairy-fairy. I hate to tell you all, but the law of attraction works like gravity. It's there whether you believe it's there or not. So whatever you're putting out, whether you believe, wherever you believe that you've attracted into your life, it's truly what you have attracted into your life. Whether you believe it or not, it's always working. And science now has even come into play. They're really developing and studying the science behind the law of attraction. And I kind of wanted to go into that a little bit so that you all don't think that this is just some sort of, philosophy floating out there that you think that, oh, okay, well maybe, maybe positive energy attracts positive energy, but anyhow, that's just hokey pokey kind of stuff. So here's Albert Einstein, one of the best geniuses, the most famous genius in the world that we all know. And his quote says it right here. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality that you want, and you cannot help but get into that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, it's physics. Smart guy, right? He knew it. So recent brain study imaging shows that our brains have mirror neurons. So whatever we see, we get back. So when we observe someone doing something, the same pattern of brain activation, they actually have done brain studies, and when we're observing somebody doing something, our brain actually sees it and does it and responds to it. You don't even have to be there, but you'll visualize it. How many people play video games now? You guys know, you feel like you're driving a car. You're there, you're not there. So, again, and I have some studies in your book that you'll see, so you can kind of get into a little bit of the law of attraction as well. So when we observe fear, and they've done studies with people, when we observe fear, we feel fear. Even though we are sitting in a room that's perfectly comfortable, our bodies experience fear. When we see somebody who has anxiety, we will also feel that anxiety. They've even done this with blind people who just feel the energy in the room. When you put up a negative picture or a fearful picture or a horror picture, they feel the energy and they will feel the fear too. They study their brain, and those chemicals come out of fear. So how do we become conscious? So we're walking around all day, every day, putting out energy, right? Many times we are very unconscious of the energy that we're putting out. We're not paying attention, we're just on autopilot, and we're putting out energy that's bringing stuff back to us. So how do we become more conscious every single day of the energy that we're putting out so that we can get the outcomes that we want back, right? It's really important to be very conscious and thoughtful of that, because if you wake up in a bad mood, and you start your day out that way, and you're putting that energy out that way, well, that's what you're going to get back the whole rest of the day. So we're going to work on that. So guys, many of you have been through some of my courses that I taught with Jack Canfield. So E plus R equals O is his formula for taking 100% responsibility for the way we react to the things that we bring back into our life. And E plus R equals O equals events, plus our response to those events equals the outcomes that we get back, right? And so if we don't like the outcomes that we're getting every day in our life, then we need to change our responses. We're 100% responsible. 100% responsible for our day and for our lives and for what comes back in. So, for example, well, can anybody think of an event that maybe they responded to at a certain time and you didn't really like the outcome that you got? Anybody want to share anything? Do you think of any of that? Really? Did you guys wake up this morning, and what happened this morning when you woke up? Were you really happy about the weather up there? Okay, so as I said earlier, you guys could have responded to that event by just turning over, putting your jammies back on, and going right back to bed. And then you wouldn't be here today, you wouldn't be learning, you wouldn't be growing, you wouldn't be interacting with other people. So what would the outcome of that maybe be? You know, maybe you didn't grow, maybe you didn't learn, and maybe you're just, in the same place that you were, and you're kind of tired and grumpy because you stayed in bed all day, right? So, our day, we just had lunch. That's an event. How did we respond to that event? Did we eat too much food? Did we talk too much? Did we, spend our time on our phone and maybe not interact with people? So it's the thought of as you go through your day, from the moment that you wake up in the morning, all throughout your day, what are you thinking about? What energy are you putting out? And what outcomes are you getting back from that? So here's a couple of examples. When we respond to rejection on a sales call with a feeling of self-doubt, anxiety, and focusing on not wanting more rejection, what will we get? More rejection. Because who's feeling the rejection? We are, right? So who has the power to change that feeling? Right. So how do we change the feeling? What do we need to do to change the feeling? Meg?
Change your mindset.
Change your mindset. So a lot of times, and it's hard, I know that's the biggest complaint I get from you all is that I have to make phone calls. I hate making the client phone calls. Calls, notes, and Popeyes, you all know. That's the thing. And the majority of you stumble the most over calls because of that feeling, that gut feeling, that rejection that you're going to get. Well, as long as we're continuing to feel that that's a rejection, then that's what we're going to get back, a feeling of rejection. It's 100% us. So if we respond to that sales call with, some will, some won't, so what? Next. Let's just move on. You're not going to get everybody. People will appreciate your phone call. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. That's okay. It's our job to reach out to people. We're in sales. So, but you can see, if you take it on that note and you keep doing, some will. Some people are going to do business with you. But you're not going to shut down. You're going to have a better outcome. So that's just one minor example. But again, as you go through your day and all the activities in your day, what are we thinking? What energy are we putting out there? And what are we getting in return? So another thing that we want to do is kind of turn negative statements into positive statements. Well, many times we go around unconsciously saying things that are negative, and we don't even know it. We do not realize it. So the point of today, I hope you all will find, is that you start to become conscious when you say something negative. And we all do it. And then you go, oh, I don't want to put that energy out there. Let's switch it to something positive. So here's a few examples. If you're putting out there, I can't afford it, where do you get back? You continue to can't afford things, right? Millionaire, if you ever read The Millionaire Mindset, millionaire people, people who are true millionaires, people who are gathering wealth, people who attract wealth to them, don't say I can't afford it. They switch it around and say, how can I afford it? And so suddenly your energy is going toward activities and things that are going to help bring you what you can afford, right? Very different energy that you're putting out there. I don't want to be late. When you say the word late, what are you going to be? Late. You know? If you keep putting that energy out there, don't want to be late, don't want to be late, don't want to be late, you will be late. So instead, say I want to be on time. It's just a matter of a mind switch. It's a matter of every time we put a thought out there, how can you switch it to the positive? And that's what you will attract. I want to get out of debt. What are you going to keep attracting when you keep saying debt? Because that's what you're focused on. Whatever you're focused on is what you're putting your energy to, and that's what's going to come back to you. It's just a natural law. So instead, I'm thankful for the abundance that I have, and I'm creating more abundance every single day. And so many times, again, we get into the negative, and we get all freaked out about stuff, and we're worried and anxious, and all that energy is coming back to us. But when you switch it, and you're thinking about abundance, now when you walk into that sales call, you're not so desperate. You walk into that listing appointment or working with the buyer, you're not coming with a sense of desperation of, oh my God, I got debt, I gotta pay it off, and that's the energy you're putting out. Does that person want to work with you? No. They want to work with the person who's positive, feeling abundant, and hey, we can help you sell your home, and that energy is going to come through. So when we miss an appointment, or when we don't get a listing, or we lose a buyer, those are some of the things that you may want to think about. What happened? What could I have done differently? Did I put out energy to someone that, they didn't, so many times we put out there that we're so busy. oh my God, I'm so busy, I've won all these awards, and I've got all this stuff going on and all that. Well, does somebody want to work with you when you're too busy? You're too busy for me, you know, and we unconsciously do this stuff all the time. So it's just becoming more conscious. And again, I don't have time, because we clutter. Who's responsible for cluttering your schedule and putting too much stuff in there and you don't have time to do stuff? We all do it. So instead of saying I don't have time, I feel excited and I have all the time that I need. And when you're thinking that way, you're going to start making different decisions as well, because you do want to have all the time that you need. So maybe somebody asks you to do something and you say no, because you just don't have time to do it, and you don't want, that's not part of your joy, and it's going to infringe on the rest of your day and your energy. Does that make sense to everybody? Kind of get the feeling? Okay, so these are the three things with the law of attraction that we can control, and this is what we're really going to work on in depth here for a little while this afternoon. So we can control our mindset, and I just talked about that a little bit. Your mindset. We need to be conscious of what our thoughts are and change our thoughts when they're not serving us and we're not getting the outcome that we want, right? So become conscious and become aware of what we're putting out there. The other things that we can control is our skills. So if you want to be an astronaut, you know, you've got to go to astronaut school or whatever they go, you know, whatever school they go to. You can't just have the mindset that I'm excited to be an astronaut without getting the skills. So for all of you all, especially who are newer in the industry, it's important for you to hone your skills. You know, Chris just shared she's taken the CRS and she's continuing her GRI, and, you know, take all the training that we offer and working with Lisa as a mentor. You have to have the skills. We can't just sit there and think, oh, I want to be a millionaire, and just it's going to come to you. You got to have the skills in place too. You have to have the right mindset, but you have to have the skills. And then the third part that we can control is our environment. You all are here today in a great environment, a supportive environment with all of you and each other, and you're going to be sharing a lot of ideas. And so the next exercise that we're going to do is we're going to really dive into all the different environments that we have and where we may be blocking our success in those environments. For example, if you want to lose weight, but you're hanging out with people who are overweight and you're sitting there with them being a couch potato watching TV every night, is that an environment that's going to support you losing weight? No. Maybe you need to go join the gym and hang out with people who work out. You know, that would be a different environment to hang out in to support that outcome. So we're really going to spend some time here this afternoon going into our 9 different environments. And I want to kind of really go through all of these, and you have a page in your book for each of these environments. It's after your science things. You go past the 3 things that control you. Sorry, I didn't know these. 9 environments exercise. So I really want to go through and explain each of these really well, and then I'm going to allow you to have some time to go through each of these environments and write down things that you feel like you could be better with, maybe things that are working well in those environments, and then things that aren't working so well in those environments that you might want to change. So the very first one is your mimetic, and that's your mindset. That's you, that you have 100% control of. So this is your opinions, your concepts, your thoughts, your beliefs. We all have them. You know, a lot of times we grow up with beliefs that our parents had that may not serve us well in the future. But that's a belief that's still with us because that's what we learned all through our childhood. Sometimes it's, you're not good enough. You know, you failed at that. How dare you? You know, all of the things that our parents told us. Money doesn't grow on trees. I don't know how many times do we hear that. What do you think, a Rockefeller? All of those beliefs. Or, you know, sometimes it's money is evil. Money's bad. Successful people are just jerks. You know, there's all kinds of things and beliefs and opinions that we have that mess up our success because we have those deep-seated feelings and opinions that block us when it's time for us to be successful. So this is where you want to think about, well, what are you putting in? Whatever you're putting in is really important. What are you listening to? What are you reading? What tapes are you listening to in the car? What TV shows are you watching? You know, there's a lot of very successful people out there, and I try myself not to read the negative news. I read the newspaper for information about our community, but the negative stuff, I'll glance over and move on, because if you're putting that negative energy in every day, then it's not serving you. It's not helping you to be where you want to go. So, you know, listen to inspirational stuff, listen to positive stuff, listen to things that bring you joy, funny stuff, all those things that make you feel good, that's what you want to be putting in. Next area that we're going to look at is our body. And again, you guys are going to be sharing this. This is just for you. I want you all to look at these as workbooks that you'll take on throughout your year, and you can change it and look at it and use this as your reference point. So what do you not like about your body? Are you ashamed of something with your body? Are you not happy with your weight? Are you not happy with your hair? If you have a bad hair day, your whole day's messed up because you had a bad hair day. You know. Also, this is your health, your energy, your adrenaline. So, you know, are you exercising every day? Are you know, doing some sort of movement or activity every day to keep your energy level up? Are we eating the right foods? Are we overeating? Are we not eating enough? All of those things. So again, when we get to the body portion, really think about what are things that are holding you back, that you don't feel good about, and then what are things that you do feel good about. And I want to make sure you all are putting things that you feel good about too. You need to love yourselves. Next is self-intangibles. So these are your feelings, your passions, your values, your skills, your unique qualities, and your self-time. You know, a lot of us, especially moms who end up having young kids and all that going on, we don't take enough self-time. So maybe that's something that you don't have enough of in your life, and that's keeping you from being successful. These are all your environments that are affecting everything else in your life. Feelings, passions. Are we feeling angry a lot? You know, if we're angry every time we pick up the phone with a client, is that somebody we want to continue to work with? No, because now we're going to have that anger. And who's responsible for feeling angry? Us. It's not them. You've chosen to work with a jerk, right? You know, don't let them take your power away. You know, I shared with some people the other night, actually, Nils and I met a wonderful guy at the restaurant last night. We had a great conversation with him. And, you know, I shared with him that, a little bit about what we're doing today. And I was on a mastermind call with some of my people from Jack Canfield last week. And one of the girls is having a rough time. She's going through a tough time and just having a hard time getting out of that energy. And she said, you know, I wasn't even going to be on the call today because I was afraid I would bring all of you guys down. And I just didn't want to do that. I almost didn't be on your mastermind call today. And I said, Shell, the only person that can bring us down is us. The only person that can bring me down is me. So don't you worry about being on that call. We're here to help and support you, but I'll take responsibility for being down. You don't have that power over me. And she was like, wow, thank you. You know? So when that client calls up and pisses you off, well, who's responsible for that feeling? Switch your mindset. You know, maybe they're just having a bad day. You know, they're going through a really tough time right now and transitioning their house. Who knows what happened? You know, can they maybe not take their pet? It's just been a bad day for them. Let's not give them the power of making us pissed off. So that's your feelings, your passions, your values, the skill set that you have. Nature. So they've found that it's really, really important that all of us as human beings have some sort of nature in our lives. So maybe you have pets, maybe you have You know, I love my bird feeder, you guys know that. Even when Nell says, we gotta take it down because the bear is coming into the yard. I still go out, so I'll take it in at night so the bear doesn't come and I put it back out. Because those birds in the morning, when I see them, are really important to me. That's nature to me, that's really important to me. And you have to have that as human beings, we have to have those things in our lives. So are we out hiking? Are we, sitting out in the backyard? Are we going to the beach? Bill, you love the beach. So all those things are really important. And if you're not getting enough of that in your life, write that down. And then write down how you want to switch it and the things that you do like. Spiritual. We all have a spiritual side, a religious side, our soul, higher source, whatever you want to call it. Are you connecting enough with that every day? So if it's prayer, if it's going to church, if it's meditation, whatever it is, it's very important to be balanced, that we connect with some sort of source and have some sort of spirituality every day, whatever your beliefs are. And sometimes when we go back to the self, it's your quiet time. It's your time for you just to take a deep breath and to chill and be quiet and not have all that stuff bouncing. Do you get enough of that? So when you get to that part, what's working, what's not working? Relationships. Family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, staff, mentors, coaches. Who are you hanging out with? This is a big one, especially when we get teenagers. When we start to become teenagers, who are we hanging out with? I used to always hang out with, I like the bad guys kind of thing, It's just Rachel. And then I ended up marrying somebody that I probably didn't want to stay with the rest of my life, and that's okay. But who are we hanging out with? As my mom used to say, you're only as good as the friends you're hanging out with. So again, if you really want to be successful and, you want to hang out, you guys are hanging out with successful people here today. They're good, they're supportive. But if you're hanging out with somebody who's telling you, I had a lot of people when I started my own business, are you crazy? Are you crazy to do that? You're working on commission, you need to have a paycheck. If you don't get a paycheck every 2 weeks, then, you're just going to fail. Well, what if I listened to that? I wouldn't be where I am today. So think about those relationships around you. Are they supporting you? Or are they bringing you down? Because if they are, and sometimes you can't help it. My mom isn't the most positive energy person, and I have shared that with many of you all, and I limit my time with her. I have to, she's my mom, I have to be there, but I can only take so much of that. And then I know that I have to set a boundary there, because I'm just not going to allow that negative energy to bring me down. So think of that as you're going through the relationships in your life. Who are you hanging with? Are they supportive? Are they helpful? Or do you want to spend less time with those people? Network, customers, your vendors, social media, church, clubs, associations, charity, your mastermind groups. All of these are your networks. If you're getting clients all the time that annoy you, that are obnoxious, that do not respect you, what do you need to do to change that? Don't work with those people. It's you're putting out energy and you suddenly get resentful of every single client that calls, right? Because it's annoying. Social media. Oh my God, the stuff that some people put out on social media. It's like, I'm so sick, I'm down. I mean, there's one person recently that had her whole divorce sitting out there on social media. You're putting that energy out to a huge environment of people, and they're getting that, If you all are putting out there, oh my God, I'm so busy, or I'm so stressed out, or I'm sick, and you're doing all that stuff on social media, well, your sphere of influence who loves you, your clients who love you, they don't want to put more on your plate, I was going to refer Pam, but man, she's stressed out. It's all on social media. I'm just using that.
I know you.
So we put that stuff out there, and then, we don't get a listing call, or we see that somebody else's sign is in one of our sphere of influence's yard. Well, no wonder. I thought you were too busy. I didn't call you because you seemed stressed out. you know, you seem so busy on social media, and, you know, be careful what we're putting out there, because you're not gonna get the outcome, and so we don't even know it. It's totally unconscious. We're putting crap out there that people are making assumptions on. So, network. Think about that. Who is your network of people? Do you enjoy working with Meg in the office? She's our network. She's positive. She supports us. If we had someone in there that wasn't doing that, then we would change the relationship, right? Financial. This is obviously a big one, especially this time of year. The market could be all of our own commission, and market's up, and market's down. So what's working in your life? What? Can you? What's working in our life financially? Do we have things in place that we need? Do we have a savings account? Do we have investments? Are we putting money away for retirement? Do we have a will? Really important. Are you working with a CPA? An attorney? Do you have financial advisors? Are you working with a budget? Do you use QuickBooks? What are the tools that you're using in those areas? I talk to a lot of you who become really successful, and then at the end of the year, you're going, holy crap, I owed that much in taxes? It's like, well, yeah. Did you talk to a CPA when you started earning that money? Did you realize that you got to put a portion of that away so that you can pay your taxes at the end of the year? So what's working, what's not working financially? And then physical. This is a big one. If we have a really cluttered desk with a bunch of stuff all over it, are we as productive? If it takes us 20 minutes to find a piece of paper that we need for a phone number, I know a lot of you all are really good at getting people's names and numbers, and they're on Post-it notes all over. All over your car, all over everything. So is that really helping you be successful? You know, your desk, your office space, your physical space, is it good? Is it a place you want to be? Are you sitting, you know, I've talked to some people who are like down in the basement, and they don't like being there. Their office is down in the basement and there's no windows. And they hate being there, so they never go down there. So when it comes time to make their calls, notes, and pop-bys, they avoid their office. So change the space. That's our responsibility. So your physical space, home desk, your computers, do they work? Does your phone work? You know, is everything up to date and working well? Okay? So does anybody have any questions on any of those 9 environments? So I'm going to give you all, we'll put out there 20 minutes, and I'll kind of gauge how you all are doing, if you all are finished before that, or if you start to finish and you want to raise your hand. But I really want you to be thoughtful with this. Again, you share it, it's for you. This is your work, this is your environment, this is your self-work. So we're going to give you all about 20 minutes to go through each of these and take your time and really think through what's working and what's not working, and some changes that you may want to make.